So we are both extremely happy to have you here. And we want to throw out a special thank you to Southeast Pet for allowing us to just kind of do this webinar and to connect with their clients with us to just share a little more information about what we do and how we can help brands overcome some of the challenges in the pet industry today. So ReSight is the platform built by Coop Diggity exclusively to support pet brands. We've been serving the industry for more than 12 years. We manage data for over 150 active pet brands, over 100 data feeds, including over 90 distributors across the world. We manage over 13,000 active SKUs, and that number grows each week. And we handle over 32 million annual sales transactions. So we've certainly grown over the 12 years that we've been in business supporting the pet channel. Now, what is our reason for being? ReSight was created to support brands of all sizes to overcome some of the pet industry's greatest challenges. And for many of you on this call, I'm sure you can kind of relate to at least one or two of these challenges that we face as an industry. The first is data management. Now, as many of you know, even with one distributor, the reports that you get for your sales transaction can feature thousands of transactions. Now, when you multiply that for brands that have 3, 4, 5 distributors, throw in direct accounts and e-commerce accounts, it's very difficult for many brands to consolidate, audit, and standardize all of that information to be used effectively, both by their leadership teams and their sales teams. Furthermore, it's difficult to actually take that information and transfer it into effective and actionable reports that can be used by different members of the sales organization. The next challenge is lacking visibility. Many sales teams lack detailed location and SKU sale data information for their territories. There's also not a very effective way to identify new prospect accounts. And finally, leadership teams cannot identify sales trends, territory performance, and distributor gaps easily, especially when we relate back to that data management issue. There are so many different data reports with so many lines of transactions coming in on a regular basis for brands. Another challenge we see is complex sales systems. Proper data analysis is very cost prohibitive for many brands of all sizes, in both employee cost and system cost. The cost of data management and CRM services, such as Salesforce, which some of you may be familiar with, are very costly and oftentimes overly complex. You know, Salesforce is a system that is built for all industries. And therefore, when it's utilized for pet, they really have to get specific and make kind of a custom interface that suits the needs of brands in the pet industry. Versus with ReSight, we were actually built specifically for the pet industry and to address these exact problems that brands are facing. The last one here, and perhaps the most relevant in the last 5 years, are economic hardships. So those of us on this call, and especially those who have brands, you know, that they've worked hard to build, you know, we've kind of faced our second unprecedented event in the last 5 years, right? Between the COVID pandemic and now a lot happening with trade and tariffs, it can often be difficult to handle the impact of supply chain issues. In fact, a lot of brands can struggle with understanding and identifying the impact of out of stocks in their specific territories or with distributors or retail partners. And furthermore, it can be difficult to maintain transparent communication with those partners without fully understanding the relationship with your brand. So for example, if you had a shipment of product that was coming in that for whatever reason is no longer coming, and you have now only got the supply of your best-selling product in your warehouse, what you have there is all you have. Well, then we get to the issue of, okay, how do I need to allocate this limited supply of product that I have to the distributors and the retail partners who have been the core of my business and are going to continue to help me grow? How do we identify which retailers and which distributor those are so we can allocate appropriately? So that is the role of ReSight in the pet industry. We were created to empower pet industry brands to gain greater visibility into their sales data and identifying growth opportunities for their business. And we do this with 3 services. First is our ReSight Data Solutions service. This brings all of your sales data in a single cohesive dashboard customized for every member of your organization with powerful reporting tools. We've also got our newly launched prospecting tool. This is built to help brands identify new retailers from independents and chains all the way up to national accounts. And finally, our ReSight CRM tools. These will help you manage your customer activities, notes, and contact information alongside free-form surveys that I'll show you in a little bit, but it unlocks a lot of power for your sales and marketing teams. Right now, I just want to focus, though, on that ReSight Data Solutions piece. How it works is very simple. Contracting with ReSight, we reach out to all of your distributor partners, such as Southeast Pet, and we collect that sales data on your behalf. We can get up to 2 years of historical data for you, and we will work with your distributor partners to collect that data on a monthly or sometimes even weekly basis. Step 2 is standardizing all of that data, all of those lines of transaction data from every distributor into one isolated hosted data warehouse. And what I mean by standardize is that every distributor or every feed, whether it's a direct feed or e-commerce, they're all going to have different shorthand names for your products, different spellings and names for different locations, items. What we do is we make sure all of those transaction lines get standardized to the vernacular and the item properties that your brand wants to see them in. So it's very easy to see everything in one standardized format. Step 3 is that we provide access to an interactive sales-friendly dashboard and reporting system that, again, is customized for every member of your team, so that leadership is going to have a lot more visibility than the territory sales managers, who are going to be able to focus in specifically on the territories, the retailers, and the SKUs that are important to them. And finally, step 4, your teams can navigate your sales data with the confidence and insights to grow sales, something that is a challenge for many brands who struggle with consolidating all of the information that they get in a timely manner. And I am excited to announce that ReSight and Southeast Pet are in talks about partnering to bring our mutual clients access to seamless daily data updates. And what this would mean is that our mutual clients that use ReSight and are partnered with Southeast Pet, would be able to start seeing daily data updates in their dashboard, which would eliminate the data lag time that we currently have in the industry and would allow brands to make faster decisions with data that is practically in real time instead of the monthly or weekly reports that they get. This is crucial for sales teams on both Southeast Pet and other distributor sides, as well as the brands, to communicate effectively. When there is a new retailer that's picked up, we can follow up with that retailer faster than we ever have before. It's really something that the pet industry is needed, and we're proud to be partnering with Southeast Pet to bring that to you. Now, on a high level, here are some of the benefits of ReSight. We have a number of key features, such as I mentioned, the customized dashboard views for every member of your organization, high-level insights and KPIs, global filters to easily segment your data. We even help consolidate for brands that have kind of multiple brands, or we'll call them manufacturers with multiple brands. We can actually segment those up so each brand has its own dashboard and can be segregated out separately. Furthermore, your team is going to be able to access ReSight Data Solutions on the desktop, mobile, or televisions. But of course, seeing all the key features and actually seeing the platform itself are two different things. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive right in to ReSight in a live environment. That did take all of our tech budget. That's the only fancy transition you will see. So this is our live environment for ReSight. As you can see here, this is the company level dashboard. This is what leadership teams would be able to use to identify trends, as well as sales and other KPI figures. So we can see here on this dashboard, we've got the high level total revenue to date versus last year, current month versus last month, and several other helpful KPI cards. Going down here, we make it very easy to view your data by showing both graphs and data tables that are specifically catered towards the insights that brand manufacturers want to see. So for example, we can see our 12-month rolling trend, which is currently segmented by dog versus cat products. Keep in mind our unit of measure here is how it comes from the distributor. So that is distributor to retail sales. We call that distributor reported dollars. You could also change this to a number of other units of measure, including unit count, for example. So let's see how many units of dog products I've sold versus units of cat products I've sold. You're able to segment this information in multiple ways. So we could look at it by species, by formula. We can even look at it by specific brand or distributor ID. We get a great view of our year-over-year sales, as well as a pie graph, which makes it very easy to kind of understand who is the front runner in my size group, right? Small packages, large packages, medium packaged products. All of these segments really help you identify important trends on kind of who is the leader in multiple segments. Moving on to our data tables, we've actually managed to put gap reports right here in a front-facing data table for your team to manage. So for example, on our top account gaps table, you would be able to cross-reference your top selling items with your top performing accounts and see where there are gaps in your territories. And you also get a monthly earnings potential of how much that retailer could be purchasing on a monthly basis if we sold that product in. So we can see here for our brand, these are night-night capsules. Now keep in mind, this portal is for our Happy Bellies brand. It's our demo brand. One day it may make an appearance in the industry, who knows? But as you can see here, you can sort these tables in a multitude of ways to see what retailers aren't carrying my number one SKU, or what SKUs are my top performing retailers not carrying. So there's a lot of great ways to look at that information. In addition, you can identify which distributors are not carrying specific products. So again, the same thing, you can filter. I want to see which distributors may not be carrying my number one ranked SKU, or are my top distributors not carrying some of my better selling SKUs. We're also able to see distributor detail. So which distributors are selling my product, with how many locations are they servicing with those products, and what is the 12-month sales trend and the growth year over year. We get the same thing for chain and the same thing for item detail as well. Now, of course, I mentioned we had those global filters, which really help further segment out the data that you're going to be able to see. So for example, if we just wanted to look at a specific brand that we had, we could simply click that filter on, and now you're actually able to segment your sales data right down to this specific brand. So now all of the gap opportunities that you're able to see are specific to this brand. You can do this for formula, size group, species, type, and more. It's very easy to customize this for your team. Now, for those territory sales managers, they also get their own particular dashboards. So we can look at the territory dashboard, and whenever our territory reps would sign in, they would gain access to their own dashboard that's focused specifically on their territory. So it's all of that same great information, all of the gap reports, the sales by item, the sales by location even. What are my top performing locations? Sales managers would now have very clear and definitive access to where their stores are located, how they are performing, and what trends are happening in the territory. Now, we can also look at this in a number of other ways. You can look at your own distributor dashboard. So for example, for Southeast Pet, you would be able to see their performance with your retailers, DC performance year over year, as well as the items that they sell the best with and the locations that they're servicing that are performing the best. All of these data tables are easily exportable to Excel. It would just easily export that to the top 100 lines, which is very convenient and very easy to send out to your sales teams. And finally, we even get down to the location level dashboards. So here's all of our locations, and we can easily sort by the highest performing and just visit their dashboard. And we can see their total revenue year to date, their trends, who they are buying from, so in this case, Southeast Pet, and the item detail. So which items are they purchasing? And furthermore, which items are they not purchasing? It's really helping to solidify that relationship with the retailer. And when the time comes, if it ever comes, that we have supply shortages in the industry, your team is able to easily assess which of my retailers and which of my distributors would be most impacted by an out-of-stock situation. Now, moving on from that, I would love to show out the reports section. As I mentioned, ReSight is full of distributor and retailer and location reports that brands can use very effectively. So for example, one of the territory reports I'll show you is the territory item gap reports. What we would do is select one of our items or one of our territory managers. We'll select one of our brands here. I pull up. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the Healthy Pets brand. And I'm going to choose one of my top selling items here. The as of date is I want to see as of May of this year and looking back 6 months, who has and who has not purchased this product from me. We'll use that distributor reported dollars. When I run this report, the result is going to be a list of all of the retailers in that territory, who has purchased that item and who has not. Furthermore, in these reports, we can actually edit them right here in the browser. So I can set a filter, apply this to see my highest performing retailers first and foremost, and then see, okay, my first and second highest performing retailers do not carry this SKU. So this is a fantastic target list for me to identify which of my best performers are not carrying these SKUs and which are. Now, if I were to run a promotion on this SKU, what I could do is say, I want to look at all of the retailers who carry this SKU, how much they've purchased in the last 6 months, and this is going to be my hit list of retailers that I want to reach out to propose this new promotion to. Furthermore, this can be done with multiple brands. So if you have, say, another brand, say that Night Night brand here, and we're going to include their #1 selling item as well, I can easily and quickly rerun this report, and now I can see, okay, which ones are carrying this brand, which retailers are carrying this brand, and do I have any overlap? So if I apply another filter here, I can quickly identify, I'll go to my top performing accounts. Here is my account that is carrying both of these SKUs and may be an extra great target for anyone who I'm running promotions with on this. There are a multitude of great reports that you can run from ReSight. And if you don't find one here that you like, you can always enter the cube, which gives you free reign over all of the sales data that you have in ReSight to build your very own report, especially how you want it. Okay. So quickly going back to our presentation then, I'd like to talk just a little bit about our prospecting and CRM tools. So these tools were recently released and built to optimize sales teams. They were built from the ground up to be embedded right into ReSight's data solutions platform so that you're able to see all of your retailers' data information right next to your prospecting and customer management tools. Some of the key features you can see here are activity tracking, So being able to log calls, meetings, and other activities on the go, ensure accurate and up-to-date information records for all of your customer transactions. You can create surveys to track follow-ups, as well as get valuable customer feedback and track survey responses. And finally, this has been optimized for sales teams. So we have integration with the maps to quickly route to known and prospect accounts. You can also build out a schedule of accounts that you have visited or plan to visit. And as I mentioned, this service also includes a national prospects list so that your team is able to leverage the 12 years of work that our team has done vetting various accounts across the country, both US and Canada, to find you a list of active accounts that you do not currently sell in. And of course, there's a whole host of reporting that is also available, just exclusive to the CRM. So as I mentioned, the CRM is right here embedded into the dashboard. So your team, while looking at their sales data, can easily jump over and view a map that contains all of their active, lost, and even prospect accounts in a very easy to identify manner. So we can see here all of the green accounts are ones that we sell in. The red accounts would be lost accounts, and the blue accounts would be accounts that we do not currently sell in and would be a great target. Additionally, we have our schedule. So you can see here we populated the schedule with accounts that were made or activities that were made yesterday. We'll look at this one yesterday for Incredible Pets. We sold in new items at 20% off. It was a 45-minute call. We didn't complete any surveys just yet, but on our type, it was an in-person visit. It was a sales activity, and we'll follow up on that sale in a few weeks. So this was an activity that we registered to the account. If we back up here, we can actually see the full dashboard for this account, which includes all of the activities that we've made in the past, any account notes, as well as key account information. And the fields here will continue to grow and get more specific so that your team will be able to start to identify, does this account have fridges and freezers? Does this account offer dog washing or grooming services? Things that your team is going to be able to reflect on later. And it's especially powerful for marketing teams who want to identify the accounts across the country that have these different services that they may want to run a promotion against. And finally, your contacts list, where you're going to be able to build a list of all of the contacts that you have for each of these retailers. And you'll quickly be able to call, email, or route against that information. Now let's quickly show you how to create a new activity. We would simply click here. I just visited the PetWise account. It was a 45-minute call. And you can title these anything that's going to help your team easily identify them when we're looking back at the activity log. The type here allows you to easily kind of identify on the map or on your schedule what kind of visit it was. So if it was an in-person visit, and we were going to do a follow-up call, and then you can add any summary that you'd like here. And that would typically appear just right there on the calendar for whatever time we set it. Now, if we jump back into this activity for Incredible Pets, I mentioned these surveys, and these are very powerful tools for your team that are completely customizable to you. So for example, we created a questionnaire for our team for the Happy Bellies brand. In this questionnaire, asks our sales team for each visit, which brand were they talking about? Is that retailer currently carrying that brand? Who did we speak with at the store? Who's the manager? Did we offer any promotions? Well, yes, we offered 20% off the new line. Was an order placed? Yes. What was the order value? Let's do $500. Order number? And then any free form notes you'd like to add. All of these surveys can be customized by your team so that your sales managers are collecting the information that's going to be important for your brand to recall at any time. So we'll go ahead and submit that answer. And that is a great segue into the powerful CRM reports that we have available. So if we go to CRM, we can quickly look at an activity summary. This would show us from the date of May 1st to today, let's take a look at where our territory sales managers were performing. So we can see all of our managers here, the total number of activities, the number of accounts they visited, how many of these were in-person visits versus phone calls, emails, and mailings. Now, if we wanted to get more specific, we could look at activities detail. If we put in that exact same date range, what we're going to see instead is a fully detailed list of every one of those activities. So who the rep visited, what was the location type, what was the type, was it an in-person visit, email, webinar, training, what was the subject, and was a sale made? The surveys, on the other hand, really give you that great free-form experience. So we can pull up that survey that we had just completed. And we'll say we want to see all of the surveys completed between May 1st and June 3rd. And the result is a collection of the answers from those surveys. This is an extremely powerful tool for marketing teams who could use and collaborate with their sales teams to identify competitive products in retail stores. What promotions are those competitive products running? Any kind of question that your team can come up with that you want to recall and bring up here in a great kind of concentrated report is easily accessible through these reports in our prospecting and CRM tools. And so that is really the overview that we wanted to share with you here today. There's a lot more to dig into, and we'd be happy to host a demo to anyone following this call if you're interested in what you've seen today, or if you'd simply like to talk to our team. Oops, this is the wrong screen. Simply like to talk to our team about the data challenges you're facing and how we can help. You can reach out after the call to open this up and get a copy of the presentation, a recording of this webinar. You can also easily schedule a demo with us to get more information.